Every year, 400,000 of them transported by emergency helicopter. Many times it's a life or death flight where every second counts. But the service often comes with a sky-high price tag. Tonight, ABC's chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross, examines the big business of air ambulances.
You're talking about very critically injured patients, traumas, strokes, heart attacks.
Emergency workers call it the golden hour, the crucial 60 minutes to get medical care for a patient facing death.
Failure to get them to the care probably means that they're not going to survive.
That urgent need to beat the golden hour clock has spawned a nationwide fleet of helicopter ambulances, saving countless lives. But our nightline investigation, conducted with ABC stations across the country, also found it has left many of the very people it saved facing financial turmoil, with bills as high as $40,000 or $50,000 for a short flight.
Would you call this price gouging? Well, some of it is. There's no question that some of it is.
Behind those heartwarming stories of life saved is a hard-edged air ambulance industry, free to set any price it wants.
It takes advantage of people at a very vulnerable moment.
Warren Larson, Owensboro, Kentucky, a helicopter pilot himself, says he was stunned at the cost of the quick flight for his daughter after she was injured in a serious off-road ATV accident. $47,000 for 79 miles. After insurance and a failed negotiation, he still owes $36,000.
It's definitely going to cripple us financially.
He is not alone. With our ABC teams across the country, we found hundreds of families.
Some worry to death about it. It's very stressful worrying about it.
Being sued.
I don't have the money to give them, so my wife and my son and myself don't allow being homeless.
Or hounded by debt collectors.
I look and I see the number of money. I know who it is. I don't even want to talk to them.
Over huge bills their insurance won't fully cover.
I feel like I can never dig out.
Some forced into bankruptcy, one after another. Patients told us how they felt they had been taken for a ride in more ways than one.
I wasn't asked if I wanted to go on the helicopter. I didn't think I was hurt that bad.
91-year-old Warren Lowe and his wife Ethel were on their way to church in Virginia when an uninsured driver slammed into their minivan.
911, what's your emergency?
Car wreck here on 89. Several people hurt.
Lowe's leg was shattered, and doctors at his local hospital wanted him sent to a trauma center 55 miles away.
Didn't nobody tell me nothing. They just took me, put me in the helicopter and gone.
The cost, $47,000 for a 20-minute helicopter ride.
I couldn't believe it when I looked at it. $47,000, that's ridiculous.
I'm sure that most of us would agree with that. That's a lot of money. Unfortunately, these stories are way too common. I hear them just all the time. I have now a friend, I will call them, but I met them through them sharing their story. They were RVing in Yellowstone National Park. He started to have chest pains. His wife took him over to the local clinic because there is no hospital by Yellowstone National Park. And they thought he was having a heart attack. So they called in a helicopter. Fortunately for these folks, they were SkyMed members. They called SkyMed and the transport was immediately authorized. He said he had the most beautiful flight over Yellowstone. If only it would have been different circumstances. But that flight cost $55,000. They told me their story with tears in their eyes because they said they would not have had those kinds of funds to pay for that kind of a flight. And because they were members, it cost them absolutely nothing. And in the end, fortunately for him, it turned out not to be a heart attack. It was a gallbladder issue that mimicked heart attack symptoms, so he was able to be treated, and they were able to continue their trip. Ground ambulance. The average ground ambulance cost now in the U.S. is actually $2,500. This is not necessarily paid for by insurance. It might be denied, you might have a copay. And last month, I actually met someone who was transported by ground ambulance because of COVID-19. Their copay after insurance was $1,758. And she said, I said, wow, was it a long ambulance ride? She said, no, it was about 6 miles. It's just crazy. Another thing many of us don't consider when we do travel, or even maybe when we're at home if we don't live in a big city, is how far to the nearest level 1 trauma center. Because in the most acute injury or illness, that's where you're going to need to end up. And the farther it is, the more it's going to cost to get you there. So one way we can help solve this problem and bridge this gap is with a SkyMed membership. You have no co-pays, no deductibles, no claim forms. We don't own any equipment. On a 911 call, you don't need any pre-authorization. You just call us after the fact, and we make sure you do not have a bill. Now, I know there are many memberships out there, assistance memberships, I will call them. There's things like Good Sam Travel Assist, FMCA, NRA. There's many different ones, and you may think, well, aren't I covered with one of those? Well, first of all, they do not cover your 911 call. That is completely on you, where SkyMed does. They are hospital-to-hospital medically necessary evacuation, completely different from the protection that SkyMed offers. Most plans also will only take you to the closest appropriate medical facility, not the SkyMed take you home guarantee. So I said your coverage begins with your first 911 call. If the paramedics call in a helicopter for you, no pre-authorization needed, you're simply covered. I'm going to have to take a break and get a drink of water. Is that water in there?
No, I'll bring you some.
I got some in here. And no, I'm not sick. I just have a dry throat.
Peggy, is that audio? Do you have any more videos coming?
Sorry about that. Hospital to hospital air ambulance transport. Again, no copay or deductibles. This is where we do ask that you get pre-authorization, because if you're taken to a hospital where they can't treat you, or even if they can treat you and maybe you want to go back to your home hospital, we want to do it all in one move rather than move you twice. Altogether, there are 18 different things that are covered in your SkyMed membership. If you, and they are in the brochures that I gave you there. But if you are transported back home, we also will take your RV, your truck, trailer, fifth wheel, whatever it is, back home, your pets back home, your spouse back home. If you have any grandchildren with you under the age of 18 and they're traveling with you without their parents, they're covered under your membership. As I said, you are covered at home. You know, more than 50% of medical emergencies happen within 5 miles of your house. Where else are you covered when you're traveling? Well, your SkyMed Take You Home guarantee is actually good in 32 countries. All of the US, Canada, Mexico, and all of the Caribbean where you might be taking a cruise. When you get outside of those areas, it shifts over to our global plan, and that covers you in almost the rest of the world. And I say almost because we don't cover war zones. So no Iraq, no Afghanistan, places like that. Now every week somebody asks, is Chicago and Detroit still covered? Yes, they are. A 19th benefit is actually our SkyMed travel division. We are also a full-service travel agency, and on Sunday at 1 o'clock here, I'm going to be doing a Cruising Alaska seminar. That's actually my background, is tour and travel, and I do sell travel, cruises and everything for SkyMed. And that's going to be a beautiful presentation with some great pictures from Alaska, so I hope you come back. Joining SkyMed is so easy. You might think a membership like this would be very expensive, but it's actually less than $1 per person per day to belong to SkyMed. Less than you might spend on a bottle of water or a cup of coffee. It's a one-time qualification. You never have your membership increased because of age or because you've used it or a condition that you develop later on. And it's a guaranteed renewal. You can keep it for life as long as you keep the membership active. We do not charge extra for pre-existing conditions. What we do is ask that you write them on the one-page application, and for the first 90 days of your membership, if you would need a transport that's based on a condition you already have or a medication you're currently taking, then we would have the right not to cover that. However, starting day 91, those pre-existings are covered forever, and there's never again any other waiting period for anything you develop. Now that doesn't mean that the first 90 days of membership you don't have coverage. You're covered for accidents, and injuries, and anything unexpected or anything new that you develop. But that's how we help keep our rates low for everybody. And quite honestly, we had to start doing that because we had people trying to sign up for SkyMed from the back of an ambulance. So we have 3 different ways to join. We have a monthly membership, a 3-year membership, and a 5-year membership. They all have the exact same benefits, okay? It's just how you're going to pay for them. The monthly is an ongoing monthly where you have a one-time $75 application fee plus your first month of coverage. So for a family, that's $59 with a 2-year minimum to keep it. But you can keep it as long as you want. Or an individual is $45 a month. On the 3 and the 5-year, there is no application fee, and it's just a one-time payment of either $16.95 for a family or $24.95 for a 5-year family, or $12.95 for an individual 3-year, or $19.95 for an individual 5-year. We also have a special that in my 8 years, I've never had SkyMed do this. We are doing this at the Grand Design Rally. They're calling it a COVID-19 kind of promotion, where when you sign up for the 5-year membership here, you're going to get 6 months added on free. So you're actually going to get 5.5 years for the price of 5 years. If any of you happen to be either past or previous, what we call red, white, and blue, that includes veterans, law enforcement, paramedics, frontline health workers, you'll get an extra 3 months beyond that. So you'll actually get 5 years and 9 months. Our definition of family is you, your spouse, or significant other. You do not have to be married. You just have to share the same address. As I said, grandchildren are covered up through the age of 18, or anytime they're with you without their parents. And your own children are covered up through the age of 24, as long as they are full-time students. We have a loyalty program, and this is your chance here at the rally, if you decide to protect yourself and enroll with a SkyMed membership, to be a super recruiter of SkyMed, because for every person that you refer that also signs up for the 5-year program, you're going to get 6 months free added to your membership. We've had people in the past actually get a whole extra 5 years by referring your friends and family, and they will get the same rally rates that you do. As I said, it's a very simple application that you have there. There's a part in the center I'm going to tell you to just kind of ignore, where it says short-term memberships, short-term plans, annuals, all these add-ons. There are no add-ons for this ultimate membership. Those prices that I showed you include all 18 services, period. And you can pay without any credit or debit card. I always recommend that you put this coverage in place while you are here, then go home and think about it, or go back to your RD and think about it, or compare other plans. You have 30 full days with a money-back guarantee to get your money refunded if you decide not to keep it. But in the meantime, you have the coverage in place. And on the back of the brochure, there's a gentleman named Roger Moraes. And I actually signed up Roger for his membership a few years back. Right after the seminar, him and his fiancée were the first ones to come up and decide to join SkyMed. The very next morning, he was T-boned in an accident. It was just one of those examples of the rally was still happening, of you just never know what's around the corner. So he was so thankful that him and his fiancée elected to sign up for SkyMed. We ended up transporting them back home. One thing we do, he was a motorcycle rider, and one thing we do for motorcycles is we will actually crate them and return them to your home shop, repair shop of choice. So that's just kind of an extra benefit for motorcycle riders. So we did crate both their bikes and ship them 250 miles back to San Jose. We have raffle tickets for everyone that took the time to come today. I'll take a couple of quick questions, and then I will be out at the vendor table in section 4 out there, because we're going to have to clear this room, I'm sure. Yes?
You mentioned from hospital to hospital you needed pre-approval?
From hospital to hospital you need pre-approval. That is correct. SkyMed answers their phones 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And you will never get voicemail. You will never get push 1 for this, push 6 for a heart attack, push 5. No. You get a real live person in the United States of America that speaks English. How rare is that when you call a company anymore? And so that approval comes within seconds, virtually.
Well, I'm just wondering, I mean, a person if it was in a major accident and they take him to the nearest hospital, and that hospital says, you got to get it to another hospital. I could be out. I might not even know what's going on, be able to call to get pre-authorization.
Right. Well, in that circumstance, they're going to take that, into account. But we do, when you join SkyMed, you get a very nice little membership card. It says SkyMed Ultimate. It has well, somebody's going to have gone through your wallet if you don't have somebody with you. They're probably going to see that card in there, and it's got an 800 number on the back. I also always tell people, give a brochure and the information to your emergency contact. We take an emergency contact for you that we have on file. In the event that you can't speak for yourself, that emergency contact hopefully will say, oh yes, they have SkyMed, and step in to help you out.
They'll basically take care of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. One other question that I didn't get and I didn't cover, there's always somebody in the room that's not an optimist, and they say, what if I don't live 5 years? Well, it is a willable asset. So if you're a couple, the surviving spouse or companion will inherit time on their membership. If something should happen to both of you, you can actually name your kids, a family member, a friend, somebody to use the remaining time on your membership. Okay. All right, I know we will have to yes.
So you say this is good at home too?
Yes.
So would you call your local ambulance?
Yes.
And it's covered?
Yes, you call 911, you get the same help. Usually some people pay an extra annual fee for some kind of a local membership. They wouldn't, you probably wouldn't have to continue paying for that if you had SkyMed, once your SkyMed membership is approved. So, yes. Okay. Thank you so much. And you passed out the raffle tickets already?
Everybody got a raffle ticket, right?
Okay. Well, please come by and see me at the booth out in section 4 there, or we're in site Mulberry 13, or the unusual looking grand design that says Tiffin on it. Right down from the main gate there. Thank you so much.
Did you ever go to Aruba resort in Okeechobee?
No, but one of our reps may have. I spend the winters in Florida.
We had SkyMed come to the park.
Yeah, we're in a lot of the Florida parks in the winter.
So, what is this? This is
You want my help for this?
Okay, right now.
Didn't have too many people, so this is really making me
tell them, will they get 6 months or
Yes, you get 6 months, they get 6 months.
And they will get, and we will still get the great design. Okay. We do know, and I thought.
Yeah, there's a place on the application, we just write down their name. If you can get their member number, that makes it a little easier, but if not, if you have their phone number, we can call them.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Okay. Thank you so much for your help.
And so now you've got another one tomorrow. I definitely want to hit that one on Sunday because we actually got a cruise, and that's what I was talking with you about. But see, I'm retired military, so strike kit covers a lot of it. But what I'm interested in is like what you were saying, if you're traveling in Nordy, my wife don't drive, I get injured or something happens to me, 1,000 miles down the road, that will also get my rig and hurt.
Yeah, and even though we have a lot of members that have TRICARE, because TRICARE doesn't necessarily get you to your hospital of choice, you know. They're going to get you to a hospital, but maybe not home.
Oh, I know. I just have, because I had a gallbladder attack. Well, I thought I was having a heart attack when you brought that up. And my ambulance bill was $750 to go 4 miles. But TRICARE covered it because it was an emergency. So, but no, I'm very interested. Now, for the tickets,
yeah, how much do I owe you?
it's going to be $55. Oh, I don't.
Well, this is my first travel, so.
Just give me 5 more tickets.
Wow.
Okay.
Or
And
3
I'm-
more tickets, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
3 for me.
And what I'm going to do is I'll meet, or somebody will meet you at the seminar tomorrow and give you something. Okay? Thank you, ma'am. And I was just telling my wife about because that opened my eyes when you said you're a cruise consultant too, because we just went through Norwegian and we have a reservation for a cruise in 2022. However, they haven't given us the land package because they haven't filtered that in yet, but that's what we want to do is also land package before, and then we'll catch a ship and see where to come back to Vancouver.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
we'll definitely be.
that's a wonderful trip. I've done that.
I just told her, I said, whatever we're doing on Sunday, we need to, we're going to make some time to come to your seminar on that. But I'm also interested in this. I'm going to read up on it, and I'll fill one of those out too throughout the week.
I told him, you guys can use my projector for the rest of it because it's much better than this one. It's much brighter, so want to just leave it here?
Well, I'm going to talk to Chris because, I can't. Chris Heisler, John. So I can stop by his rig because I guess they just leave this stuff in here. But I'll stop by your booth because I want to fill one of these out for you too. And
okay, great.
And we're interested in the family thing.
Chris Heisler? I started this one up in the right. This one here. Okay. Oh, I thought it was on the wristband. Our training is around using disinfectants and sanitizers. Are you probably going to go to the ball? I know way too much in the ball. We have that. All right, you know what this is? Oh, yeah. But everything's picking back up again. School is starting to open up, so we got a lot of school orders and things like that. Well, you guys ought to be in the money. Sir? You ought to be in the money. No, if we did, see, like I said, we're kind of this has been this 50 years. Part of what's kept us in business is our ethics. We only offer top quality product. We don't screw around at the end of the day. Hand sanitizer, put us on our towels, our hand sanitizer. We made a top money off of it. It's not in our business. It's not what we do with that. So, we want to do that. I'm a chemist. I came from Kodak. I worked with Kodak for years. And one of the things that I know is the stuff that they put in these sanitizers. The government is paying for it. Hand sanitizer. We're having to be worried about it 10 years from now. All the same sanitizers. I'm concerned with that. Many years ago, my military days, they're not doing all that stuff. Exactly. They're not giving, if they only drink all that, I would be looking at it. We're all set. Thank you very much. This was an easy one because we didn't have a whole lot of people.
I'll be back around 3:30.
Great. Thank you very much for your help.
Thank you very much.
I'm up here and grab my camera. Forget that. Absolutely. So how long have you had your camper? Oh, camper? 3 years.
3 years.
3 years.
Your first rally?
First rally, yeah.
Oh my.
Well,
Hey, I almost said you looked familiar too. Were you out the round last year?
No, you remember, I know you, and the reason is because last year after the rally, we came camping here, and we sat around the fire. I have
That's right. That's right. And that's how we talked about the rally.
Bingo.
Yes, and you're over in one of you're in one of the paved sites.
No, we were that last time. Yeah,
right, because you enjoyed it.
That's right. So, but
well, this time we're
So we had the Siberian Husky.
Yes.
That sat around the campfire.
That's right. So yeah, so we promoted them, gave them some cards. And,
Excellent.
oh yeah, every Grand Design I seen, I had some business cards, and I was like, hey,
yeah,
you know,
I got a couple of Bob's cards.
You know about the rally, and that's how they ended up coming over and enjoying the campfire.
So we had a great time, and here we are.
Well, good seeing you.
You're ready to make the roof look like it's brand new again.
Say that again.
I said, when you're ready to make the roof of that camper look like it's brand new again.
Okay.
See.
Well, you got a card?
I stand by that fraud. I've used this fraud for the last 3 years now. Go ahead.
Thank you. My cell phone's right on that card.
Are you still down in the Jersey?
Okay.
Yes, I'm fixing to leave to head back over to the office.
Roger. They have the mic open over there. They're streaming their conversation on YouTube.
How about that? How do you shut it off?
Same as we got. That's what we did. We'll clean your trailer completely, roof and sides, twice into a third time.
No kidding.
So 1/2 gallon will do that. On his trailer, 1/2 gallon will do the roof, the sides, and he'll have a little bit left over. So
Bob, are you heading this way?
Just wanted to head over to the amphitheater.
Stop by and see us, and I can tell you more
How
about
do you
it.
stop this taping that's going on?
Oh, okay. Yes, sir. Absolutely. We have a website, and right now, due to COVID, anything over $25.
I'm free of my work obligation until about 1:30. Yeah, I gotta go do another thing.
But thank you.
Thank you.
This is some good stuff.
Is it? Okay.
I love the kit, the way they put it together. I bought the kit from them last year. I sprayed on there, but I'm going to do around with my brush. You can already see the dirt and stuff.
No kidding.
I wash my camper 4 times a year. The roof twice a year.
So I got to tell you, I was lazy this time because my back's been killing me. So we brought a dirty trailer, and we're having to wash the wax and the seals replaced here.
Cool. And I'm telling you, you know, because Grand Design stands by Alpha System, it's safe on their roofs.
Okay.
If you got a new roof,
This is the way to go.
if you start getting in other chemicals, they're not, you know, they may not be advertised through Grand Design. At least this way, you know this product is actually advertised. He's been coming on rally now for about 5, 6 years. And he donates. Right now with this pandemic, the stuff that he's been giving out. Plus, he's got a big disinfectant machine that he comes in and sprays all this down at the end of the day. So, that donates a lot of product. Because of what he's doing. And if you look in your swag bag, there's a little trial in there.
That. Yeah.
So you got Black Streak Mover. The only thing with the concentrate, make sure you use it in the container because the concentrate mixes with the water. It's safe on the decant. You don't want to just put a little bit of concentrate on the rag and then try to get the bug off.
Gotcha.
Already did. And I got a white spot on one of my decals. Well, Grant is not going to help me out with it. So. They're going to give me that.